Hey, 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 Wild Mamas and friends. Welcome to Wild Mama TV. I am so excited to be here. I'm Tiff, for those of you who don't know. And last week in my newsletter, I talked a lot about being an open channel and allowing our life force to flow freely and without judgment, allowing ourselves to express from our hearts. And that a big part of being an open channel is allowing ourselves to take action. So we talked about, the importance of, not overcomplicating and not getting too much in our heads, but allowing things to come out, but not letting it get stuck just as the idea or as the inspiration, but actually doing something about it in our life. And then also this week in my program, we're talking about the things that we feel like we have to do, not because some external force told us to, but because it's oozing out of us and just like welling up within us. However, because we don't take action on it, and probably it's been there for years, months, whatever, it ends up becoming kind of a thorn in our side, because we're not actually doing anything about it, even though we know we really, really want to. So with those themes kind of coming up in my life and me intentionally teaching about them to others, I really had to sit with myself and want to be accountable to myself and the things that I really want to do in my life and what I feel like wants to be channeled through me. And so one of those things is starting a YouTube channel. So I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for probably 4 or 5 years now. And shit happens, and it didn't come into fruition until this moment in my life. But I'm so, so grateful because I now have a community of wild mamas growing. We're all really thinking and digging deeper into who we are and who we want to be and the power that we want to realize in our life. So it just feels like a great time to come further into my power and be accountable to myself, as a teacher, but also to my, the energy of my soul that wants to be expressed in this life. And so I didn't want to, share the newsletter and then teach in my program and not take action myself. So I figured this week would be an amazing week to create this channel and speak to you over video, and say fuck it and just let things flow and make it happen. And I also read an amazing quote from a card that I pulled this morning. So it's called Medicine Man is the card, and it's from a deck called Vision Quest. I can link to it below, but there was a really amazing sentence in the card that said, "In the immediacy of unfabricated simplicity, your greatest talents are revealed." So let me read that again. It says, "In the immediacy of unfabricated simplicity, your greatest talents are revealed." Woo! I thought that was really beautiful, and I know that I can tend to overcomplicate things through thinking too much about it. And I know that a lot of you struggle with that as well. So I just wanted to share that because I feel like a lot of our society, especially social media, is fabricated. It's curated. It's like, there's a lot that goes into it to make it look the way that it is. But for this quote to say that in the unfabricated simplicity, your greatest talents are revealed. So I just feel like that's really important as we think about being open channels and letting things flow freely, and not just flow but get stuck, flow and be fully expressed. And so I think that simplicity, and coming back to the beauty of simplicity, is really important as we think about that as mamas. Especially, we got a lot of shit going on. There's a ton of things happening in our lives. There's just so many like opportunities to cut ourselves off, but there's also so many opportunities to express ourselves fully and freely and openly. And so I just wanted to encourage you to do that by doing it myself today, but also maybe share a little bit about how I'm able to kind of move past some of my fears and blocks and inhibitions in order to take action. So obviously creating this YouTube channel, it's taken me a long time to finally get to this point. And so you might have like a really big vision and a big goal, something that you want to accomplish, but you don't feel able or ready to do that big thing. So for me, every like huge goal or, you know, life transformation, it breaks down to a series of small steps. You don't get to the top of the mountain just by jumping to the top of the mountain. Even if you have a fucking plane, you know, it's going to take some work to get you to the top and then get you, you know, at the peak or whatever. So I want you to think of breaking down that big goal or that big thing that you want to do and breaking it down into the small steps and owning where you're at right now. Even though you want to be somewhere, like I wanted to start a YouTube channel for a long ass time, but I couldn't. But instead of like getting too hung up on like forcing myself to, you know, just hurry up and start or whatever, I started where I was, which was way back here. So I want you to be okay with being where you're at and just starting with what you have and starting with what you currently know, because that's your place of power. And so I don't want you to, you know, see the mountain and only see your way of getting there as like one big leap, because that's a false idea about what it takes to actually succeed in life. So it's really important to take those big visions that you have and break them down into bite-sized steps. So what's the first step that you can take today? What's the one action that you can take today that is allowing you to fully express yourself? So some things that want to be channeled are really big, but other things that want to be channeled or things that are related to that are actually small, and they're things that we can actually do today. So I want you to focus on what's the action that you can take today. Today, the action that I can take is just recording this damn video. But it took me a few times of like practicing video and sharing on social media. It literally, okay, guys, I took 2 years or more off of social media because I struggled so much with it and I didn't like what it did to me internally. So that was one of my big steps to even get to this point. I had to actually get off of all social media platforms in order to come back and be able to share from a truly authentic place. So I want you to know that it's been a long journey to get to this point, and all of us has a beginning. So I would say that that's the next thing, is just own your beginning, own where you are today, and allow yourself to just start and to not be perfect or be the expert already. Like this video is not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't really have a strategy yet. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Yes, I've studied some things, but you know, at the end of the day, I just have to put it out there and put myself out into the world and let it be what it is. So allowing yourself to have a beginning is like super duper important. I would say that the third thing in kind of being an open channel is to not be so hard on yourself. And instead of judging yourself, and instead of being like, Tip, why can't you make that video? Or like, you totally suck. Or why can't you, you know, be brave? Or why can't you, I don't fucking know, like whatever it is, you know, like instead of being so harsh and judging yourself, or me being so harsh and judging myself, instead of trying to push to get yourself to do something that clearly you have resistance to, I want to encourage you to turn back to yourself and ask why. Like, why am I afraid? Or why do I have so much resistance? Or why does that feel so big? You know, and turn toward yourself with understanding and with gentleness. I think as mamas, you know, we tend to treat our kids with a little bit more gentleness and understanding, at least most of the time, I hope. But, you know, sometimes it's like, if our, you know, 2-year-old can't tie their shoes yet, we're not like forcing them to tie their shoes already, or like pushing them like, why can't you fucking tie your shoes, kid? You're 2 years old now, you know. And we generally don't do that to our children, but we do it to ourselves all the time. So I don't know if you had parents that were like that, or society tends to be like that, whatever, but we need to turn that gentleness back onto ourselves, and be kind to ourselves. You're not stupid, you're not an idiot, you're not like incapable. You are enough, and you might not be ready, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to force yourself to be ready for something that you don't feel ready for. So I just want to encourage you to love on you and to be gentle with you, and instead of like kind of pushing up against yourself and pushing up against your natural instincts, your natural rhythms, and your natural kind of fears and resistance, I encourage you to turn around and just look at yourself with love, and with gentleness, and with a desire to understand, because that's the only way that you're actually going to get there. Because for me, really coming into being a full open channel and being able to fully express from my life force all came and it is coming from a deep level of self-awareness. So if you don't know yourself, and if you don't understand those fears, those frustrations, and those things that you feel like are holding you back, you're never going to get to where you're trying to go, and you're never going to be able to fully express. So don't be afraid to turn toward yourself, and ask yourself those questions, and be open to whatever emerges, and be open to whatever becomes more clear, based on that reflection, and based on those questions. So yeah, I just am really excited to be here. I'm super stoked to be connecting with you, and I want to say thank you to all the Wild Mamas and friends that have been following me on Instagram at the Wild Mom Project, and then I almost said .com, but it's not .com, the Wild Mom Project, and for all of you who are on my newsletter. So I'm really inspired this year to express from my soul and express from my heart, and I want to inspire and encourage and empower all of you and all my wild mamas to do the same, because I believe that that is what is going to change all the generational trauma that keeps us stuck, and I think it's what's going to allow us to break through our fears, find our joy, and realize our greatness. So I love y'all to the moon and back. I'm so grateful to you. You hold me accountable, you inspire me, and you push me to live into my best self, and I only wish the same for all of you. So thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to this new channel. I'm thinking of having videos come out every Tuesday or Wednesday. I genuinely don't know yet, but I plan to be consistent, and I want to share. So yeah, and comment below. Let me know what you thought, and if you have questions, because this is about us, and this is about our collective growth. And so I'm just excited to be here and to be on this journey with you. So thank you, sis. Thanks to all my wild mamas. Thank you to my friends. And be well, be in joy, and trust that you do have a greatness that wishes to be expressed in this life. So peace.